Now, in 2015, India struck a deal with the Seychelles to install a military base on an outlying Seychelles island. But now the move has sparked a growing controversy. The base on Assumption Island is to be funded by India and shared by the two countries' militaries. The project has now turned controversial with small weekly demonstrations in the capital. Locals in the island nations fear an influx of Indian workers who they say might come to dominate the economy, while others consider a foreign power building a military base an affront to sovereignty and national pride. Opponents of the plan also cite Assumption Island's relative proximity to Aldabra Atoll, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that is home to the world's largest population of giant tortoise. India plans to invest $550 million in building the base to help it ensure the safety of its vessels in the southern Indian Ocean. The government of the Seychelles says the base will help coast guards to patrol its 1.3 million square kilometre exclusive economic zone for illegal fishing, drug trafficking and piracy. And to bring us more information on this news story, I'm joined in by our senior editor, Surya Gangadhar. Surya, how will this affect India's plans to counter China's One Belt, One Road initiative?
If you look at the comments by India's ambassador there, also the Seychelles Parliament to clear the entire agreement this month. There are from what is being quoted in the media as saying, there are very few people actually living on that Assumption Island. And in that sense, there shouldn't be a problem in terms of putting up, clearing the deal and putting up the base. The point to understand is that Assumption Island sits on the sea in the Indian Ocean, which carry energy supplies. And in that sense, it's important for India to be able to monitor the movement of energy supplies, given the fact that China's base that has come up in Djibouti, East Africa, there's a constant traffic from South China Sea through the Indian Ocean to Djibouti. In that sense, it's an ideal place to monitor that traffic and also keep an eye on the flow of China's oil, China's energy, from the Persian Gulf ports to China and also to Guadalajara. So if you look at India, the manner in which India has gone about building its network of facilities and bases, we also have one near Oman. We are getting base rights in David Garcia, which is held by the U.S. I understand that when President Macron comes, there will also be a deal on the use of France's islands in the Indian Ocean. So there is a plan that we're working towards. What has happened in Seychelles is a delay, yes, and it's been delayed for some years, but hopefully it will come through.
Right. Surya, this could be looked at as a possible setback to OBOR, the One Belt, One Road initiative. And, if you look at China, it usually finds favors with countries by providing huge cash incentives. But what has India, got to offer the Seychelles in exchange for this military base?
I think what India is offering is to build a base that will be jointly used by the Seychelles military and by the Indian military. In that sense, the base, India will help train their troops, their Marines and Coast Guard. India will also provide ships. So in that sense, it's a win-win situation for the Seychelles. Yes, the Chinese competition is pretty intense in terms of the money they have and the fact that they're able to buy their way through into a lot of these areas where development is needed, but where you also have very, very corrupt leaders. This is especially the case in parts of Africa. In Seychelles, India is offering a joint venture. There's no danger of that base going to Indian hands, so there's going to be no loss of territory for the Seychelles, unlike in Sri Lanka, where the Chinese now virtually own whole stretches of the coastline in Sri Lanka. This is also happening in Africa and other places. So that is the danger posed by One Belt, One Road, OBOR. In that sense, there is no danger from India in that sense.